Good evening to everybody. I am very happy to see you all again. I hope you're all keeping fine. So we are going into next unit, the stunning of the animal. So what I have planned is I'll be taking this unit in three sub-units, we can say, or three YouTube shows will be there. So first is about the mechanical stunning. That will be one sub-unit, and it will followed by the electrical stunning, and third will be the gaseous stunning. So we'll be covering three sub-units, like mechanical stunning, electrical stunning, and gaseous stunning. Today I'll be talking about the mechanical stunning, and I welcome you all to today's class. So coming to the method of stunning, there are basically three methods. One is the mechanical, another is the electrical, and the gaseous stunning. So in the mechanical stunning, we have penetrative, non-penetrative, pneumatic stunning, water jet methods. So these are commonly followed for cattle, buffalo, horse. Okay. Coming to the electrical stunning, we have two types of electrical stunning. One is called as high voltage electrical stunning, and another is a low voltage electrical stunning. So in the high voltage, again, it is divided into three types, we can say: head to head stunning, head to back stunning, head to leg or the body stunning, and in the low voltage, head to head stunning. Okay. This is mainly followed in pigs, sheep, goat, and poultry. Now coming to the gaseous stunning, this is also again commonly followed for the pigs and the poultry. In the case of pigs, we have the oval tunnel type, dip lift type, Ferris wheel type, or the compact immobilization type. Okay. So this is about the overall about the stunning. Today, as I told you, I will be talking more about the more about the mechanical stunning. So before going to the mechanical stunning, why that stunning of the livestock is necessary? Okay. One is as per the laws. One is on the one side we have to see the law. So what are the laws that governs or which says that stunning is very much required? One is the Prevention of Cruelty to Animal Act, that is 1960. And the second is the as per the Slaughterhouse Act 1974 Part 2. This act also says the stunning of the animal is necessary. Then as per the FSSI, 2011, again it says stunning is necessary, or the equipment that we have to use for stunning should be all properly maintained and other things. Okay. And above all, I say apart from the law, another is the humane slaughter. Okay. Ultimately, the humane method of slaughter. What do you mean by humane method of slaughtering? That is, the animal should not feel the pain when you are going for the sticking operation or the bleeding. When you cut the important blood vessels, the animal should not feel the pain. Okay, for that only we are going with the stunning. So the animal should become unconscious, so that or insensible, so that the animal will not feel the pain when you are doing the sticking operation or the bleeding operations. So what are the advantages of stunning? So as I already told you, there is a humane method of slaughtering. That is, the animal will not feel the pain or suffering of the animal. It is just like giving anesthesia before operations. Why we give anesthesia? So when we do the incision, the patient is not feeling the pain. So here also we do stunning so that the animal will not feel the pain when you are going for the sticking operations. Okay. Next is to improve the bleeding efficiency. So when you do the stunning, the blood loss will be increasing, or the blood loss from the animal body will increase. The maximum blood should come out. Normally, we say that around 40 to 60% should go, the blood should go out of the body. Okay, normally in the animal or in the human, any living animals, if a living creature you take, normally there will be 78%. The 50% means, so it comes around 3.5 to 4% of the blood. Okay, so that much blood should come out of the body, because if the body, in the body, if the blood is more, what happens is, you know that blood is a good source of nutrients. Okay, so the microbes, once you kill the animals or once you slaughtered it, the defense mechanism will be lost. So the, you know, the GI tract will be containing lot of microorganisms. So these microorganisms will start migrating into the muscles or the tissues. Okay. So, and if the blood is not drained properly, what happens is, these microorganisms will be using these nutrients. You know, the blood is containing all the nutrients. So the microorganisms will multiply very fast, and it leads to the spoilage or the food poisoning. Okay, that is why the maximum bleeding should be done. So that we should always remember that the maximum blood is drained out of the carcass or out of the slaughtered animals, so that it will not spoil or it will not lead to food poisonings. Okay. Next is no violence of the animals. So here you can see the animal is not stunned. It is a cruel method of slaughtering. We can see here there is no stunning and other things. So you see the animal is struggling. Here you can see the animal is struggling. Okay. The animal is stunned. But here the animal is put in the restrainer or the stunning pen, and it will be stunned. Okay, it is going to be stunned here. So the suffering of the animal is very less. No violence of the animals. So it is not only that, it will also minimize the dangers to the handlers. If you see, this is very dangerous. The animal can jump on the handler's body, or it can kick and other things. But this will not happen here. Okay. So stunning is also increase the meat quality. So when here the struggle on the animal is very less. So stress on the animal is very less when you stun the animals. So here you are putting the animals under stress. So especially in the case of pigs, if you put the animals under stress, it's going to affect the quality of the meat. It can lead to a condition called as PSA, pale soft exudate, which I will be talking later. Is it clear? So this, you are putting the animals under more stress. But when you go with a scientific method of slaughtering, that is where we do the stunning. So the animal is not put under stress. Next is it increase the meat quality. That's what I told. When you put the animals under more stress, it is going to affect the quality of the meat. Okay. Next is to improve the throughput. Throughput means what? The output, or the number of animals you can slaughter per day. That can be increased here, because the struggling of the animal is less. The stunning can be done. Here the further operation can be done very fast here. Okay, because there is no struggling. Because here we need more number of laborers is also involved, because they have to handle the animals. So it is a time consuming. Like here, that's not time consuming. The faster. So naturally, it is going to improve the throughput of the your meat processing plant or your unit. Is it clear? That is another advantages of doing the stunning. Okay. So this is how the animal is stunned like. So this is a stunning pen. Okay, this is a standard stunning pen. We can say it is have 4 walls. The front gate, the rear gate, one permanent side walls will be there, and another is a sliding gate. So this is a 4 walls like. So this is just a cross section I had shown. So animal comes here from the lyrage. Animal enter the stunning pen. So in the stunning pen, once it enter the stunning bed, your head will coming out. So head will be held up, so that it will be suitable for such using the chin lift. This is called as a chin lift. Again, it will be lifted up, and it will be stunned here. Once it is stunned, so here the person will be standing. Okay, this is as a permanent side walls. This is a front gate. This is a rear gate back here, and this is a sliding gate. Okay, sliding gate we can say. So the person who is involved in the stunning will be standing here, and the animal will be coming here, and he will stand and do the stunning operations. Once it is stunned, it will be ejected out of the stunner. So it will be ejected out. So the animal comes out. This is how the stunning is done. Okay. So coming to the equipments, so we should learn the basics of the equipments, how it is working, how to maintain this one, then only we can do the stunning properly. So coming to the equipments, so there are captive bolt stunning equipments is common. So captive bolt, see before this electrical stunning and gaseous stunning, captive bolt, the mechanical method of stunning is commonly followed. Okay, especially this is the first equipment we can say, because to reduce the pain and other things still it is followed in the large animals. Okay, so in the captive bolt stunning equipment, there are 2 types. One is the penetrative and another is a non-penetrative. Okay, in the penetrative type also, this is a triggered fire. That is, we fire it and the bolt will be going. I'll be talking about that. Another is a contact fire. Here it is a triggered fired only. What is penetrating and non-penetrating? Penetrating means the bolt will go, and this is called the bolt. Okay. So when you trigger it out, the bolt will be pushed and it will be entering the brain. Then it is called as a penetrative. When it breaks the skull or it penetrates through the skull and it go and destroy the brain, then it is called as a penetrative type. In non-penetrative types, it will not enter the skull. It will give what you call as accelerated concussion, which I will be talking. Okay, accelerated concussion. So it is not entering into the brain, or it is not going to damage the brain. So in that type of stunning, it is called as a non-penetrative. I will be talking about in this detail in the coming slides. Okay. So this is the equipment commonly called, this is a cache or a skimmer. Many companies are there. This is one type we can say here. This is another. So we have to know the different This is called as the muzzle region. Okay, the muzzle, MU. I will be using this terminology again. This is called as a muzzle, MU-Z-Z-L-A. We have the barrel here. This is, you can see here, this is the barrel here. And through this hole only, when you trigger it out and when you fire it out, the bolt will be coming out. Okay, we have seen the bolt here. This bolt will be coming out when you fire it. So through this hole only, the bolt will be coming and hitting. Okay, hitting, or sometimes it penetrate. If it is a penetrative type, it will penetrate through the head or through the skull. It will enter the brain and damage the brain. So how it is, you can see here, this is the equipment we can say. This is a common thing we can see in all the things in this type or this type, any type we say. So when you trigger out, there is a firing pin will be there. This is a firing pin. Okay, this is a firing pin. This firing pin will go and hit here. Okay, once it goes and hit the firing pins goes and hit the cartridge at the primer, we can call it. What is primer? And I'll be explaining later. It goes and hit the primer. So once it's the primer, it will be, the explosion of the cartridge will be taking place, or the gunpowder will be exploding, and the pistol will be pushed forward and it will be pushing the bolt outside. Okay, this will be pushing the bolt outside. So I'll explain here very clearly. Okay, so we'll see a captive bolt stunner comprised of a steel bolt. So this is called as a bolt. Okay, this is the bolt, this red color, the orange color you see, this is the bolt. Okay, and this is the flange. This is the flange. Okay, this portion is called as a flange. So this is the flange, and we have the piston at one end, the pistol at the other end, the piston. Okay, so this is the, you can see here, the firing pin. When you fire it out, the firing pin go and hit the cartridge. So once it hit the cartridge, what happens is the gunpowder inside the cartridge will blast. So the energy will be producing, which will be pushing the piston at one end. This is the piston at one end. It will be pushing around 8 centimeters. It will be pushing like so. So because of that high force, what happens is the bolt will be coming out. This bolt will be coming out. You can see here the bolt will be coming out. Okay, and we have the flanges. So what is the function of these flanges? The flanges will not allow the bolt to come out of the barrel. Okay, it will not allow that is why it is called as a captive bolt, because the bolt is held here and it recuperates. Okay, so these are called as a recuperator sleeves. So these are called the recuperator sleeves. See, you can see around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, around 8 to 10 sleeves will be there. These are called as sleeves. So once you fire it out, what happens is this bolt will be moving forward and it will come to this point. This is the hole. Okay, this is the hole through which the bolt will be coming. So once this will act as a spring. So when you go and it will be coming back. So it is called as a captive bolt. So bolt will go. It will go into the brain and it will come back because of the recuperator sleeves that is held. Okay, these are the recuperator sleeves we can see. So we have the bolt, we have the this A is called the bolt and B is called the stopper washer. So this will come and hit here. Okay, it will come high pressure, 5 force, it will come and hit us here, and through this hole the bolt will be coming out. The one bolt, the length of the bolt will be approximately 15.2 centimeters. Okay, it will be approximately 15.2 centimeters. This bolt will be coming. This bolt's length I'm talking. This will be coming around 15.2 centimeter. Okay, around 7.5 inches we can say like. Okay, it will be coming and hitting the brain, or it will be penetrating the brain we can say. So once it goes and here, this is a recuperator sleeves we call. This is a recuperator sleeves. Okay, so this will act as a cushions like. So it comes and it recuperates. It comes back again. So that is why the bolt is this type of is called as captive bolt. So the bolt is not going out; it is held in the captive. Okay, so this is the flanges. Okay, the E. Okay, this is called as a flange. What is the function of flange? It goes and it is here and it will not come out. So the bolt will not come out. And we have the D, that is a flange washer is there. Okay, then we have the piston. This is all the piston I told you. Okay, this is the piston and combustion chamber. This is a combustion chamber. Combustion chamber where the cartridge will blast or the gunpowder will blast and produce the energy and the piston will be moved friend. Okay, you can see this is the G, this is called the chamber that. Okay, so this is how it works like. So again, it's a working mechanism. It should be cleaned properly. It should be cleaned properly. Otherwise, what happens is in the chamber, the blasting chamber, there will be soot formation or the carbon will be formed. Okay, so when more carbon is formed, the efficiency of moving of this bolt will be reduced. Okay, because this is very important. At what force it goes and hit the head or the brain is very important, which I'll be talking about later. And another thing that we have to see is once it is burned, do not open it. Okay, do not go immediate within 30 seconds. At least for 30 seconds, do not open it and do not go for charging of the next cartridge. Okay, do not do that one because the gunpowder may affect your health because the smokes will be coming out and gunpowder may affect your health. See at what speed it is going and hitting is very important. Okay, so normally the normal speed we can say is 73 meters per second. So such a high speed it is going and hitting. That a high speed it will ranges from 76 to 79 meter. So we need a very high speed to go and hit that brain. Then only it leads to accelerated concussion. So what's the disadvantage of this captive bolt pistol is that it cannot be used for slaughtering of over 240 to 250 animals per hour. So if you want to slaughter more than this numbers, then naturally we cannot use it. We have to go for what you call the pneumatic stunner, which I'll be talking. Okay, I talked about the recuperator sleeves. Okay, the recoil sleeves should be replaced with the tone. So in the management, I will again talk about these things. Okay. Happening during the things. So once you trigger it, what happens is the firing pins will go and primer. Okay, when it hits the primer, what happens is it will blast. Okay, so the gunpowder inside will, because of the things, it will be blast. You can see on firing the expansion of the gas and produced by the explosion of the charger. Charges is the gunpowder that we use and propel the pistons forward. So this pistons will be moved forward. This piston will be moved forward. So around 80 centimeters. That's what I told you, approximately 8 centimeter. It will be moved forward and the bolt will come out and the bolt will come out through the holes. Okay, the bolt will come out through this holes. And the bolt remain in the captive within the barrels. Why it remains in the captive? Because it has the flanges. So it comes here, the flanges will go up to these places, the bolt will be coming. So see, this is the midway, it will come here, it will come here, it will hit, come this so strongly it will, and it recuperates. It's because of the sleeves that is present here. So the recuperator sleeves that are present. So it push back to the, again into the normal positions. Otherwise what happens is it will get embedded in the animal's head and it may pull the person who is involved in the stunning and he may fall and it can lead to the accidents of him. Is it clear? So it is very important to see this recuperator sleeves are properly there. It's cleaned properly. Everything should be maintained properly. Okay. So firing the expansion of the gas, there will be expansion of the gases and produced by the explosion of the charges propels the pistons. Piston will be moved. This piston will be forwarded and the bolt will be projected out. The bolt will come out. The bolt remains captive within the barrel. That's why it's called as captive bolt. And because the flanges at the rear and prevent it passing through the holes. So I think now it's clear. Okay. So this is again, it's very clear like. So this is the bolt. Okay. These are the recuperator sleeves we can say. Okay. This is a recuperative sleeves. Okay. So this is just like a rubber thing like you can wash, we can clean it out. And we have to replace it frequently. When it gets wear and tear, it should be replaced because if you are not replacing it, what happens is the bolt will not recoil back. Okay, so if not recoiling means it will be get embedded in the head itself, and the person who is involved in the operations may get accidents. Okay, so this is what, so this is when you trigger it out, what happens is the firing pin will go and hit the, it will hit the primer of the cartridge. When the primer of the cartridge is hit, it will blast, so it will be move the piston forward. When move the piston forwards, it move the bolt out through this hole. So this will come, the flanges will be held here. So so high for 73 meter per second means so high speed it will be coming. It will be held here again because of the spring actions of this recuperator sleeves. It will be pushed back to the normal positions. So the bolt will be coming back. Okay, this is what happening in the captive bolt pistons. Okay. So we talked about the remote. When I told about 240 to 250 animals, it's more than that. Naturally, we have to go with a pneumatic stunner. The pneumatic stunner, the main advantage is you can do it very fast, and this work on the high pressure compressor. So instead of using the cartridge, what we are using is the compressed air is used here. Because of the compressed air, the bolt will be coming out, or the pneumatic stunners will be working. Is it clear? So what is the main problem is it's very heavy. It is very heavy, and you can see here the compressed air for stunning cattle and sheep. You can use it. The energy supplied is through the high pressure compressor with high powered equipments. Okay, a higher throughput for the animals. That was in the case of captive 240, 250 animals. Here you can go with the higher numbers. Okay, even 400 animals per hour, you can use this pneumatic stunner, but it is somewhat heavy. Like less maintenance is required compared to the captive bolt, because every time you have to remove it, you have to charge with the next cartridge and other things. Here, continuously you can do the stunning. Okay, that is the main advantage. The disadvantage, the equipment is heavy and less maneuverable than cartridge fired stunner, and the animal must be fully trained. The captive bolt we can carry anywhere we want, but here it should be held in a particular positions. Okay, a particular place only. We cannot carry as we can carry the captive bolt pistol. Okay, this is a pneumatic stunner. So here the pressure is very important. The pressure, you can see this is around the required pressure is around the concussive stunner. So this is concussive stunner. What is concussive stunner? I will be explaining you. So pressure, you remember the pressure, what pressure it should be developed, or the what pressure it should be, that is 160 to 240 pounds per pound square inch. So high pressure is required. Then only this will work properly. Okay, so we need highly compressed air, high compressor air is required, and the pressure produced should be around 160 to 140 pounds square inch. So it had that high pressure, it has to, it should only that high pressure. Listening. In the next section, I'll be talking about the cartridges, and the physiological effect of percussive stunning, and the sign of percussive stunning. Okay, so be safe, take care of yourself. God bless you all. Thank you.